So it's been about a week since we last talked. Done a lot of knitting since then. I actually just transferred my project to some, I think it's called barber cords, so I can do a try on for you guys. But yeah, we have a pretty decent amount of shape here so far. I think last time I checked in, I was still working on the neckline, but now we have sleeves officially sectioned off and we are working within the body, and I've gotten about 2 inches done underneath like the armholes. So yeah, really loving this so far. This color and yarn is just incredible to work with. I also finished my first 2 balls of yarn, although you can see this was pretty uneven. I don't know how it ended up so uneven. My friend Hannah said it might be that they were the same weight, but one had like more mohair in it than the other. But I decided to start my second balls, which I'm already probably like a third of the way through on these 2 new ones. So that leaves me with 3 balls left. And this is working up really fast. I'm doing it on US 10 needles, so I knew that it would go pretty quickly, but I'm really enjoying this. And now kind of all the hard work is done. It's just stockinette in the round on the body and the sleeves, and then the sleeves will have some increases and decreases as well. You can also do an optional I-cord edging at the end if you want, but we'll see if that happens. But yeah, there is one little issue on my sweater, so that's why even though I've been a little lazy to transfer it to the barber cord, I wanted to do that so that we could see how noticeable that is. And I've put on a white camisole under the current sweater I'm in so that we can see, you know, some contrast behind the sweater and see how noticeable that is. I'll hold it up in the light here. Basically under one of the armholes, you see it right there, I had accidentally picked up, since I'm holding 2 yarns, I had accidentally picked up each string and created an extra stitch. And when I went back to fix that, it left, you know, just a wider gap in there. This is right like adjacent to the armhole, so I'm hoping once I put it on it would be covered like here so that I wouldn't notice. I'm also wondering if I could fix that by you know, taking some loose string after once I pick up for the sleeves and kind of tightening it and then sewing that under like the armhole. I don't know. So let's do a try on and see. Okay, I'm back. We have the blouse number 1 Lite on, and this is so exciting to do a first try on. I feel like, okay, I got a lot in my hands while I'm trying on here, but I feel like maybe I should put my hair up again like always just so we can see what's going on here. Boop. Okay. Wow. Oh my gosh. So I don't think when I do wear this top that I'm gonna have like a white camisole under. I'm gonna have a brown one. I'll do a little 360. And now I have to reverse so the strings can go back. Yeah. Oh my gosh, the back does look really good too. Oh, I'm so happy. I love this shape. I mean, this would be cute as a short sleeve too. It's maybe an option for the South, but okay. This is exciting. I think the sleeves look really good as well. And I did end up sewing in the ends on the neckline, and I think everything looks perfect. And there is like a decent amount of boat neck. I think once I wash this, that'll help it a little more as well, but yeah, I think this looks really good. So I'm excited to keep working on this. I am like almost a little bit bored now that I'm in stockinette in the round, and I kind of have the urge to cast on something else, but I'm gonna keep persevering because I want to get this done so I can wear it this season while there's still some cool weather. It's finally not 80 degrees anymore. Now it's like 50s and 60s. So yeah, but let me take this off and grab some other yarn because I already broke my yarn buying ban, and I want to show y'all what I got and talk about what I'm planning on making with it. Okay, so I'm back in my regular sweater, and I'm really glad that I ended up trying it on because this is the Blouse #1 Lite by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and I am knitting up the size extra large, which is supposed to fit, does it say here? Doesn't say there, but well, I usually have like I have a 42-inch chest, so oh, here we go. Okay, yeah. So this is for the size or inches range of 39.5 to 43.25, and it has around 1 to 2 inches of negative ease. So I will say I'm really glad that I tried it on because I must have like a much shorter torso than the Scandinavians, even though, you know, I'm half Swedish, but knitting to 22.75 inches would be like all the way down past my hips and just would not suit me. So I measured with my measuring tape, and I think I'm gonna knit to the 18 or 19 inches point, and right now I've knit 11 inches, so that is not much work left. I feel like I can definitely get that done in the next week. And so yeah, I'm very glad that I tried it on so that I could know that, and I wouldn't have knit an extra 4 to 5 inches and then had to redo it later or undo it. Also, I'm thinking for the sleeves right now, I have 54 stitches on each sleeve for that size extra large, and they look pretty big to me on. I'm gonna see how that looks when I pick them up. But I might actually pick up less stitches if that's possible, or do some decreases pretty quickly to get down to that size large or medium range for the upper arms, because I think that will also fit my body better. So I haven't done these types of modifications before, but I've definitely heard other people talk about it and how hard can it be. So I'll definitely ask some people in my knitting club if they've done that before. But yeah, otherwise I am loving how it looks. I showed my partner too, and he also thought it looked really good. So yeah, and I'm hoping I can fix that one little gap. If it was like regular cotton or wool yarn, I would have unraveled the 2 inches and just have redone that section with the little gap under that arm, but because of the mohair, it's going to be quite a pain to unravel. So, but it's also very forgiving in areas because it's a dark color. So I think I'm, yeah, gonna sew that to fix that somehow. And that's, you know, that's all the progress on my blouse #1. Another thing I wanted to talk about is you've seen me talk before about this olive green silk mohair I have from Sandness Yarn, and it's their tin silk mohair. If I can get it to focus, there we go. And it's this beautiful olivey green color. When I swatched it, it was a lot more cooler tone than I was expecting, and so I definitely know that I want to knit some sort of sweater with this, holding it with a wool. That's what I had decided, especially because this one's a little itchier. This has 57% mohair, 28% silk, and 15% wool, so it might get softer after washing, but it is just like a little bit itchier, especially compared to a silk mohair with no wool content. So I went to my local yarn store on Saturday, I want to say, and I was supposed to be on a yarn buying ban, but I want to get the color I want, okay? I don't know that I'll knit this for another 8 months, but I have the colors ready to go, and so I got fingering weight wool in this beautiful pea shoots green color from Knitting for Olive, my first Knitting for Olive purchase, and I love it. I think it's so pretty. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 balls of this. And so my plan is to hold it with this. They're actually pretty similar shades. This is just gonna help darken this one a little bit, which I think I'm gonna like. And I was trying to decide what pattern I wanted to do with it. This could end up changing, but I think I'm gonna do the balloon sweater by Petit Knit, which I don't see talked about a lot. So let me pull that up to show y'all. This is the, ooh, okay, we're gonna get some glare. Let's see here. This is the balloon sweater. So you can see it has this beautiful puff sleeve, a mock neck, and ribbing on the bottom and those sleeves as well. And it's just a very simple kind of look, which I really like and I think would be really gorgeous in this green color. So that's the vision there. I've seen some projects on Ravelry where people made the sleeves way too long for their bodies, so the sleeves aren't sitting right and then they kind of like bunch up all strangely here and don't have that actual balloon look. So definitely need to be careful with that when I'm working on the pattern. We'll definitely need to gauge swatch and see how much it grows as well, because I'll want to avoid that in terms of making the sleeves too long. So definitely learning with some of these Scandinavian patterns that, I mean, they tend to be taller over there and I'm very short, so I think don't need to hit the exact length that they say on some of their patterns. So if anybody has knit with this pea shoots color and wants to share their projects with me, I would love to see it. It's so soft, like such a soft, nice wool. So I'm really, really excited to do a gauge swatch in that. However, I don't know that I'm gonna start that project right away. Still need to work on my Evie mittens and hood. And I also have my like cranberry colored cashmere wool yarn from La Bien-Aimée that I still need to use. And I also wanted to do the Magnolia Bloom Lite sweater. So I think those 3 projects are going to come first before I dare to cast on this green one. So I think this will be more in the fall. Because yeah, we haven't had much of a winter here so far, and I feel like 2 more sweaters and kind of like half sweaters, that's already going to be enough before the summer comes, and I'm going to need to switch to summer projects. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Oh, and I also decided, let me grab it real quick, hold on. So in my other video that I last posted, you'll have seen me wearing this vest, which I've talked about. I love the color, but it just does not fit me the best, and it's super hard to style. Ended up being too short, and there's just a lot of things I don't like about it. And I want to say I used probably 6 balls of yarn when I knit this one, and I also have another 6 balls of yarn that either I had or I've stocked up on some more. This is the Linne by Sandless Yarn in their matcha color. And so I was looking at the pattern for Petit Knit's Sevilla blouse, and a bunch of girls in my yarn club recently did a knit along for the Sevilla blouse, so they all have one. So I really like how that looks, and so I think I'm gonna undo this, see how much yarn I get out of it, because I don't remember. I do have the like paper, what is it, like the packaging for those yarn balls, so I could find that to see how much it is that I used and how much will actually be salvageable from this. But Want to see how much I have total, because I'm pretty sure I have more than enough to make a Sevilla blouse, and I really like the look of that, and I think it'd be perfect for the summers here, especially in this linen cotton viscose blend. Even though it's a long sleeve, I think it'd be really nice in that pattern. It said to hold linnet with 1 strand of tin linnet to get like a worsted weight, but this is already worsted weight, and so honestly I don't know why they were holding 1 more strand of things in that one. That's like another $60 plus of yarn that I don't want to buy, and I saw on Ravelry a lot of people just made it holding 1 strand of linnet, so I think that's what I'm gonna do, make the Sevilla blouse. And yeah, I think that's gonna be really nice and much more wearable for me. I love this matcha color, so I'd be really happy to have that as a summer top, but it also would work really well for fall and spring here too. On another note, I wanted to talk about books a little bit. I watched the newest movie to come out for People We Meet on Vacation. I thought it was okay. Don't hate me, people who really liked it, I'm sorry. I thought that Poppy, the actress for Poppy, was great. Like, she's a great actor. The production was actually pretty nice of it as well. It was more the writing for me, and also the actor who played Alex that I didn't think was very good in that role, at least. And I didn't really like the immaturity and miscommunication behind some of those tropes. I just felt a little too grown for some of that. And when I was reading the book, I know in a vlog or 2 ago, I said I was really liking it when I was 40 pages in. Unfortunately, like 10 pages after that, it got to some really unbearable, immature texting scenes in the book, like writing, and I just was like, okay, I can see why my mom was not a big fan of this one. I love Emily Henry's later stuff, but I interestingly hadn't read the first 2, Beach Read and People We Meet on Vacation, her first 2 books. And I have to say she definitely becomes a better writer in some of the later books, and also I think some of the plots and tropes are better in those later books too. So I'm all for, you know, a bit of a miscommunication trope. That's just, you know, par for the course with romance, but yeah, I wouldn't say I liked it. It was just okay. So I've abandoned that book. And with the new Wuthering Heights coming out on Valentine's Day, or actually February 12th to be exact, I'm trying to book my ticket, but I can't book a movie ticket yet because even though they've announced screening times, they aren't selling tickets, so I'm waiting on that. I decided to start reading the book, and so far I'm only 18 pages in because I've spent another 40 pages just reading all about the introduction and like editor's notes, etc., to the Bronte sisters in the book, and like the dynamic in their family and what had happened in their lives, and it's really, really interesting. I am quite confused in the beginning here just by all the characters. I didn't realize that it's like a neighbor who's told this story about Heathcliff and Kathy. So I'm interested in getting to the actual storyline instead of like having to read about this guy as much, Lockwood. But yeah, if you've read this, let me know, because I'm really excited to finish reading this and also to see the movie. I know it's not a faithful adaptation, but personally, I love Emerald Fennell's movies. Saltburn and Promising Young Woman, I think they're fantastic. So I trust her with this one, and seeing what she does with it, I know it's going to be very creative. It's almost giving Sofia Coppola's Marie Antoinette, just with the very extravagant outfits and colors. Definitely more of a modern touch with some of the set design and costume design on this one. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I've just been really happy knitting and reading, and I have so many other books I want to read soon. Like I said, it's going to get into hot weather, and I have so many books I'm looking forward to reading in the hot weather because I'm a big Italian lit fic fan. huge Elena Ferrante super fan, so would love to do a reread of the Neapolitan novels and possibly do some videos and an analysis on that, but I also want to read her inspiration text for the Neapolitan novels, which is credited to Elsa Morante's Lies and Sorcery, which is a huge one. I'm looking at it over on my desk right now. It's like this thick. So I think that's also 1,200 pages, and it's kind of just like an epic following, I think, a mother and daughter over like their lifetimes. Don't quote me on that. That's what from what I remember, that's what I think it is. I could be wrong, but yeah, I love Italian literature in general. They're so talented at writing, and I think the Italian culture and their history has just lent a lot to like the substance of what they can write about in their novels, and they have such rich histories, or not rich histories, rich city lives, you know. So the Neapolitan novels obviously explores like Naples and Florence a lot, and Milan as well, maybe? No, I can't remember, but yeah. American novels have a hard time competing with that since our history is not as old and established, and our politics are obviously very different, but still similar in a lot of ways too. So yeah, and just love a lot of these books that are kind of based on the 60s and 70s in that time period as well. So could do a whole other video talking about that, but I will keep y'all posted on my reading as well, and I'll talk to y'all when I've made some more progress on my sweater. Okay, so it's been about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks even, since I last filmed. Okay, it's been a while. I do have a reason for that, and that was because I got one of my front teeth fixed. I think right after I had filmed the last little segment I did. And I was just waiting for that to heal, and then every time, you know, I've just haven't really wanted to get ready and like put on makeup and stuff and be on camera, and I've been working a lot and dog sitting, etc., all the things. So I haven't given you a knitting update in a long time. I know the last time you saw me, I did a try on. I am planning on doing another try on now, but I think I had joined the next two or last two balls of yarn when you last saw me. Those two exact balls are now almost nothing left. And I did hit, I think, 18 or 19 inches on the body, which the last time I was filming, that was the length I thought I was going to knit the body to, because I thought 23 inches would be too short. However, once I got to that length and have done the try on, I think it's still a little, like, it's not too short, but I think I want a little bit longer for this blouse, and I'll show you that on camera in a bit. But yeah, basically finished the body, and so 2 nights ago I started to pick up stitches for my first sleeve, and the sleeve is knitting up really quickly. So let me show y'all the progress we're making. First of all, this is the body. This sleeve is still on holders, but this sleeve is working up really fast. So I have about 2 more decreases and 10 more rounds of that in total before I get to some stockinette, and then I'm gonna need to decide how much stockinette rows I want to do before starting some increases for a little bit of a flare out, like bell shape. This calls for 6 rounds more of stockinette for my size. However, that's gonna be like way too long, and one thing I noticed on Ravelry was a lot of people were making their sleeves too long, and it just like hits too far down. So I probably will do a little, like 1 inch shorter. So we'll see what that ends up looking like. But yeah, my pickup under the arm, it definitely was a little bit weird because you only picked up 4 stitches, but looking at the underarm, it looked like you should pick up 8. And so my friend Hannah, who is a knitting expert, and I know she'll watch this, so hi Hannah, she helped me mark which stitches I should pick up for like the neatest results. But with the mohair, it's really hard to tell. So honestly, I don't really know how it went, and like it's almost like just too dark and all blending together that it's hard to even tell what's going on. So at least it's under the arm, no one cares, and they were picked up either way. The right amount was picked up. So just been working away on that. I definitely think that I can finish this first sleeve probably by tomorrow night. Then I'll do the second sleeve and then add more onto the body. So I'm trying to get this done by the end of the weekend. It's currently Wednesday, and I think I can do that. It does say you can add on an I-cord edge. Or is that just for... Okay, yeah, you can do an I-cord edge for the neckline. I actually like the neckline as it is, but I am interested in maybe doing an I-cord edge on the end of the sleeves and body, so we'll see. I think the mohair doesn't turn up on itself as much as it does with other yarns in stockinette stitch, so yeah, I'm gonna see how that goes, because doing an applied I-cord edge will probably add on another few days for me. But it's been cold here finally in Texas, so it would be nice to get this done so I can actually wear it. And I would say I've been working on this, what, like 3 weeks now? And it knits up really quickly, and I don't work on it every day either. I have another project I've been working on too, so I'll show that one as well before I do an official try on for y'all. So the other project I have been working on is the scarf for my mom. I haven't steam blocked this, so it's going to be a little difficult to see, but it's basically just the same like lace pattern. See if it can focus. Yeah, that looks really pretty. Same lace kind of tulip looking pattern over and over, and so this is really fun to knit now that I'm used to like doing the lace work for this one. It's like 12 rows, and I pretty much memorized the pattern. I mean, I still reference it every time because the yarn overs I'm still unsure of, but otherwise this is like a really easy knit for me now. I don't really need to be like as focused as I was when I was first working on it in the beginning. So this has been a fun break for me when I need something different from the mohair blouse. And I think that this will probably get done in the next few weeks too. And that would be nice to, maybe I can wear it until I give it to my mom. And then I think I've mentioned to y'all, I have another ball of this yarn. And so I might end up making one for myself too. And then we'll be matching. Or I could make a hat to match this. So yeah. That's been a lot of fun. Some other non-knitting updates I have is that I have been reading Wuthering Heights, preparing for the movie coming up. Ooh, almost dropped that. And it definitely is a little bit hard to get into just because I wasn't really sure what was going on in the beginning. For those who don't know, the book actually is told from the perspective of like the neighbor that moves in and his servants who have like used to work for Heathcliff, I guess, or like Catherine and Heathcliff's families. And so all of their lore is told from the servant and like observed and learned by this new neighbor. So yeah, it starts in the modern day and then like tells the stories from the past. So once I learned what was going on, it got a lot easier to read. And also I don't care about the neighbor that much. I just want to learn about the other, like the main story. So yeah, let's see how far I am into that. Okay, I'm only 50 pages in. But I did read a ton of like the introduction to Wuthering Heights, which was like this much. So I have been reading this a lot, even though it doesn't look like I have been. And the story is only 337 pages total, so I think I can definitely get this done by February 12th when the movie comes out. Super excited to see that Valentine's Day week. And yeah, that's kind of it for updates. I've just been really busy, and we're preparing for a winter storm this weekend, so if we lose power for a few days, I'll have lots of knitting and reading time, so we'll see. And we're also planning a trip to Seattle in the next month or two. So, you know, I've been busy trying to plan for that. We need to finally book flights and pick a weekend and things. Excited to see all the knitting stores there. And I've also been helping my best friend like with wedding planning stuff because her wedding is coming up later this year. So all things bachelorette and just planning for that as well. So yeah, it's been busy but fun. So let's do a try on. So this is how she's looking so far. I'm super happy with the progress. As you can see here, I think just like a few more inches is really gonna add to, you know, maybe being able to tuck this in or just wear it easier. So definitely thinking about that. And yeah, this sleeve is just working up really fast. I will say, I feel like there's going to be a little bit of excess fabric here. But in the brown, I don't think it's going to be noticeable. So yeah. And then about 10 more rounds of decreases here. And then we'll do some stockinette and then increasing for like the bell sleeve here. So yeah. I love how it's looking so far, and I can't wait for this to be done so I can wear it. So, yep. Hi everyone. So I have some exciting updates today on my blouse number 1, Lite by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I've been busy knitting this for the past 3 weeks, and we currently have a winter storm here in Texas, so we've been inside a lot, and I've just been busy knitting away as well. And yeah, we've made a lot of progress. So I don't think I've showed any of this on camera. I think last we dropped off, I was starting this first sleeve, and so that first sleeve is done. I haven't sewed in this end yet, but love how she turned out. And it's just so squishy and soft and not itchy, which is really nice. And then the last few days last 2 days, I've been knitting this second sleeve, and I'm almost done here. I have 3 more, dropping my yarn balls. Let me get those. Okay, I have 3 more increases, and then that's it. That's when I'll be done, or 3 more like increased rounds, so like 7 rounds for each increase. So yeah, not many at all. And then that will be done. Then I'm gonna get my bigger needles out, put it back into the body, and use my last ball of yarn, wind it into 2 cakes, and add a few more inches to the body. This is my 2 yarn bowls left on the sleeve, and they are getting a little sparse, so I think I will tap into that last ball of yarn and use most of it. But yeah, this has just been really exciting to start to get closer to the finish line and to try it on, and actually like see the shape of it. It looks really, really nice. I'm not gonna try it on again right now. I'm gonna wait till the end, I think. But yeah, I'm really loving it. And my friend Hannah let me borrow her shorty set in US 10 6mm, and that has been a game changer in speed to knit these sleeves. So unfortunately for my bank account, that probably means I'm gonna need to get shorties at some point this year, like an interchangeable set. But yeah, really excited about that. And I thought it would be a fun challenge to try to finish this by this evening, so I can try it on, sew in ends, and then wash it and wear it tomorrow and Tuesday, hopefully to yarn club. If the ice, you know, lessens up on the road, hopefully we can go, but right now we're kind of stuck at home because Texas does not have infrastructure for winter weather. But yeah, I'm really excited to finish this up, and I'm also really itching to cast on something new as well. I've been thinking about the Magnolia Bloom Lite sweater, and I'll put a photo here to show that. And then I'll also show the yarn I was thinking for that. It's the La Bien-Aimée Sport Nouveau and Heliodor. And that's actually a wool only sweater. There's no mohair held with it. So, but I had bought a bunch of mohair silk to go with it, and I didn't really know how to buy yarn at the time when I did. So they're both in the Heliodor colorway, and I think that's just a little too much. And like that silk on its own is so freaking pretty. So I think because I have a lot of it, of that mohair silk, I might do another one of these in that colorway, and it's kind of like a sherbet colorway. So I think that would look amazing because I already know this is gonna be one of my favorite tops to wear, and I think it's a good in-between piece for somewhere like Austin where it doesn't get that cold most of the time, except for the past few days. So yeah, I think I'll do that, and I love this pattern too. I mean, that'll be the third time, if I do that, that'll be the third time I make a blouse #1 in some sort of format. But you know, I know my body type, and I know this pattern just looks good and flatters me, so I wouldn't be mad about making it a third time. But yeah, I'm really itching to cast on something new, and so I think that would be fun to work on. Also, let me grab this other yarn. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so y'all have seen me talk about this yarn that I wound up 4 balls of. I want to say I have about 800 to 1,000 meters of this, I think, and it's 50% cashmere, 50% wool. The Veloute by La Bien-Aimée, so it's a light, ooh, almost dropped it, a light fingering weight. And I had thought about making a top with this, which I still might do. But then I also thought about maybe making a triangle shawl with it. Just like a classic triangle shawl with like an I-cord edge and like a really big one. That could be a really good layering piece. So now I'm debating that because I'm not sure I want a short sleeve sweater. So yeah, decision paralysis a bit on this because I still need to decide. So that one, it's a little on the back burner, but not forgotten. I do want to start that one soon, but just can't make a decision. And then I also need to get back to finally starting my Evie mittens and then Evie hood. I have been wearing my bonnet that I made, but I do feel a little bit like a medieval peasant in it, and I don't love beanies on myself either, so an actual hood or balaclava might be a better look for me. So I think the Evie hood could be really nice. So yeah, we have lots of project potentials, but back to this sweater. I will check in with you guys later. I'll maybe get some snow montage from outside if I go on a walk, but I'm gonna keep you updated on when I finish the sleeve for this and finish the body as well, and then we can wash and block together. All right, everyone, I have been busy knitting for the last 3 or 4 days since we last talked. It's now a Tuesday. The ice and snow is melting outside, so we're finally able to leave the house today, and I have something exciting to show you guys. She's done! My blouse #1 Lite is done. I'll try to tilt y'all down so that you can see it better. But yeah, she's finished. She's been washed, blocked, and all ends have been woven in as of 20 minutes ago. So really liking her. Love this boat neck feature. And yeah, pretty happy. There are a few things I want to note. I did not end up doing any of the I-cord edging. And also the mohair did grow more than I expected. When I had knit it, I knit it to about here on my wrist, and I would say it grew quite a bit past that on both sides. Also, the end, I originally did just an original bind off and then had to undo that because it was too tight. Unfortunately, I was doing that in a coffee shop and like tried it on in their bathroom, and I didn't get to like be at home and see it at my mirror or see it in my mirror there. But yeah, I had to undo that and then do an elastic bind off like the pattern actually calls for last night, and I have to say I don't know that I love it. So let me see if I can really zoom in here and show it. Oh, kind of weird angles here, sorry guys. It's just like, it's flaring out a lot, and that's not really what I wanted. I wanted it to be a bit more form fitting. It is like tuckable, but yeah, I mean, what do we think about this bind off? I don't know that I'd actually go back in and fix it. I do have enough yarn left to do that if I really wanted to, but yeah, that's like the one thing. Let me fix y'all first and then I'll talk. Okay, that's like the one thing I'm not loving as much. But I do really like her, and she's so soft and cozy, so I feel like maybe I just need to wear it more and get a feel for it and then decide what I want to do. The arms and everything fits really well, but yeah, I don't know if it was just like the size XL too, and like my bust being bigger than my hips and waist. I don't know. When I remember looking at pictures of other people who knit this pattern on Ravelry, it didn't look as like wide as this does. So yeah, you know, I didn't do a proper gauge swatch, so maybe this is my own issue and like the result of my own actions, but or the consequence of my own actions. But yeah, I want to take some more pictures of it and yeah, just see how I like wearing it and how I want to style it. So yeah, I'm excited to wear this to knitting club tonight and to show everyone, get their opinions and thoughts, and then continue working on my petal and frills scarf. Hopefully get that done in the next 2 weeks, and I think probably this week I'll cast on something new and finally update y'all as well, but that will have to be in the next vlog. So this is gonna be the end of this one, and I'll keep you posted.